بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الأمين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Today we're going to revise together what we have learned in grammar grade 5. It's an easy lesson. I know it's an easy lesson. But all what you have to pay attention to before even saying what is the lesson is verb to be. Okay? Look, I'm saying verb to be before even starting the lesson. Okay? Today we're going to deal with the subject-verb agreement, whether in the simple past tense or in the simple present tense. So here, I'm going to start with the plurals. Usually to make a noun plural, we add an S. It's not a rule, okay? I told you before, I don't like rules which are not general, okay? So, if it's not general, it's not a rule, okay? So we have some regular plurals which follow the rule, which is, for example, book, books, boy, boys, mobile phone, mobile phones, okay? Of adding an S to make a noun plural. And some other words, they do not follow the rule, and you have to pay attention to them. For example, child, the plural of child is children, okay? And children, it doesn't end an S, and when you're going to conjugate it with a verb, for example, in the simple present tense, you're not going to add an S to that verb too, okay? Because some people, they're going to say, look, if you have an S by the end of the noun, then the verb is not going to have an S. And if you don't have an S by the end of the noun, you're going to add an S to the verb. Not always. Okay. Here, of course, I have a simple example, which is singular. The singular of the noun is girl, and the plural is girls. To make a verb plural, I don't like it, of course. In the simple present, we take away the S. Okay? What about the verb miss and kiss? If they're going to apply this rule, all the kids, they're going to say, okay, take an S from miss and take an S from kiss. That's why I don't like it. The general rule is this. With I, you, we, and they in the simple present tense, you're not going to add anything to the regular verbs, of course. Okay? Bear in mind with the regular verbs. I'm not talking about to be. Okay? With he, she, and it, always you're going to have an S. It's like forever you're going to have an S. Okay? Even to be is going to be is going to end in S. Okay? In spite of being a strong verb. You see? It's going to be I am, he is. With at the end you're going to have an S. She is, it is. It's going to have an S by the end. With all the verbs. And I'm not talking about the modals, okay, like can and should and must. Those are modals, okay. Those are special kinds of verbs, okay. They're not going to have an S by the end with he, she, and it, okay. So here we have with a verb in the simple present tense to make the verb agree with the subject. With I, you, we, and they, do not add anything in the simple present tense, okay. With he, she, and it, we have a different kinds. Okay? If the verb is ending with the x, just like to fix, you're going to add es. If the verb ends in sh, just like to brush, es, he brushes. I'm so sorry. He brushes. If the verb ends in ch, like teach, he teaches, es. If the verb ends in o, just like do or go, you're going to add es, does and goes. Okay, if the verb ends in s, or I'm sorry, in double s, okay, you're going to add es, just like kiss and miss. It's going to be he kisses and she kisses and it kisses. He misses, she misses, and it misses. See, those are, for example, special cases to make a verb agree with he, she, and it, and then in those letters you have to add es. Okay. Now something else you have to pay attention to is are the verbs which end with a y. If the verb ends with a y and before that y you have a vowel, don't change anything. Just add an s, just like the verb to play. We're going to say he plays, only an s. She plays, only an s. It plays, only an s. And it's going to agree perfectly. Okay. However, if you have a verb just like the verb to cry or to try, before that y you're going to have a consonant. So here you have a problem. With he, she, it, you have to omit that Y and to change it with IES. He cries, she cries, it cries. It's going to be spelled CRIES, not YS. Okay? So those are the different kinds of verbs when you're going to make the verb agree with the subject in the simple present tense. The main problem is verb to be. I'm so sorry. I'm a little bit sick. I'm so sorry. So you're going to do this. You're going to change that verb. We'll never have I be, he bees. I'm not having bees here, okay? It's gonna be I am, he is, she is, it is, you are, we are, and they are. Okay? That's the rule for the simple present tense to make any verb agree with the subject. I'm going to carry on. If the subject is singular noun or he, she, it, whoa, I don't like this. Are you talking about a singular noun? Okay, I'm going to say you. You is singular and it's not going to have an S. I is singular and it's not going to have an S. So I don't like those rules because they are not general. Okay, the general rule is with I you're not going to add anything. With you you're not going to add anything. With we you're not going to add anything, and with they you're not going to add anything. However, with he, she, it, at least you're going to have an S. Maybe you're going to have ES. I don't know if you're going to have IES because the verb ends in Y and before that Y you have a consonant. So my boys, I repeat, it's not a general rule. I don't like it. The only problem we are facing is verb to be, and we have to learn it by heart. Of course, it's a linking verb and it's going to link the subject to the complement. In Arabic we don't need it, but in English it's the main and the strongest verb. Okay? If the subject is a plural noun or I, you, we, and they, don't add S or ES to the verb. But if the verb has already has an S, do not omit it, just like miss or kiss. Okay? So the girls look at the stars, they walk. Of course, they don't need an S to follow the rule. Okay? They are plural. Now watch the verb endings. I walk, you walk. Of course, we're not going to add anything to the verb here. He, she, it walks. Of course, we have to add an S. It's a regular verb. Walk. It's a weak regular verb. Plural, we walk, you walk, they walk. Okay, Joe and Maria walk. This is obvious. Now let me go to my problem. Of course, do is easy because you're going to add ES, okay, because it ends in O. And have is a little bit a kind of a problem. Because I have talked a lot about verb to have. And I said it's not as strong as to be, because to have is going to accept with I, you, we, and they. He's going to say, okay, I accept, I have, okay. He has, no, I'm not going to accept it. The verb to have is talking. But verb to have, you have to add an S. I'm going to add it my way. It's gonna be he has. Okay, she has. It has. But me as teacher Malik, I'm not going to accept any student who's going to write in my copies, for example, he has, she has, he, or it has. Okay, now let's go to the main problem, which is the verb to be. In the simple present, you have to learn it by heart. There is no other way. I am, he is, she is, it is, you are, we are, they are. Okay? And in the simple past, I was, he was, she was, it was, you were, we were, and they were. I'm going to move on to another video. Watch part 2, please. It's too important.